Namaskar friends, I welcome you all on week 2. In this week, in the second video, we'll be dealing with exploring the interplay between language and law. Dear friends, I'll guide you through the fascinating world of legal language. We start by understanding the nature of legal language, the backbone of how law is communicated and interpreted to begin with. Now, to start with, if you talk about the characteristics of law, rather characteristics of legal language, we can mention this. Legal language is known for its precision and clarity. Each term carefully chosen to convey exact meanings and avoid ambiguity. However, it's often criticized for its complexity, making it hard for non-experts, that is laymen, to understand. But we'll explore how legal language balances precision with accessibility. If we talk about evaluation of legal language, we can say that the development of legal language reflects changes in society and law. From Latin to vernacular languages, we will see how legal language has evolved, influenced by various legal traditions across the world. Moving further, we can talk about defining law and its impact. We can say that defining legal terms is crucial. Legal dictionaries and statutory definitions shape the interpretation of law. We'll discuss how these definitions are dynamic, evolving with societal changes, such as expanding definition of marriage. If you look at the definition of marriage, over the years, it has got evolved and changed and updated. So in that way, we can find that there are certain impacts on legal systems and society. What are these impacts? We can talk about it. Legal language doesn't just reflect legal thought, it shapes it too. The wording of laws influences legal strategies and societal understanding of rights and obligations. We'll explore how language both mirrors and drives social changes. Okay, now we talk about influence on legal reasoning and interpretation. For that, we dwell into how legal language influences reasoning and interpretation. Legal arguments and judicial decisions are rooted in linguistic constructs. This is how we try to track the person's identity. We call it author profiling. We'll have lots of examples in the coming videos. Understanding legal text precision shapes legal arguments and influences judicial decisions. Now we move forward towards statutory interpretation and judicial opinions. We'll examine how judges interpret statutes and the role of judicial opinions, how judges articulate their rationale in opinions that can significantly impact the future legal interpretations. So we need to find out that where language as a tool for legal persuasion, how it works and how it impacts. Dear friends, effective legal writing and argumentation hinge on skillful use of language. We'll discuss the strategic use of linguistic techniques in legal persuasion, from written briefs to oral arguments. So we'll try to cover all the scopes, areas where language plays its role. Now, if you look at another angle where language is used in legal drafting, let's talk about it. Moving on to the legal drafting, precision and clarity are paramount. One error of tense, improper tense or improper preposition or improper modifier can change the entire document, legal drafting, and that can ruin the purpose of drafting. That's why it is said that the precision and clarity, they are at paramount importance. We'll explore the challenges that drafters face in conveying complex legal ideas and the movement towards plain language to make legal texts are more accessible. Now, when you talk about various challenges to legal drafting and the role of legal drafters, we can definitely talk about how drafters navigate complex legal concepts and foresee changes. Their expertise in law and language ensures documents are precise and adaptable to changing circumstances. Now, if you want to talk about the impact of legal drafting on legal outcomes, we can mention that legal drafting directly affects legal rights and obligations. We'll analyze how the language of contracts and statutes comes under judicial scrutiny, influencing legal outcomes. The modern trend is towards using plain language and incorporating technology in drafting. So, we will discuss how these advances aid drafters in creating more effective legal documents. Now, if you want to talk about how we can focus on the angle of analyzing linguistic analysis in the courtroom, so in that case we can say that in courtroom settings linguistic analysis is crucial. From expert testimony to analyzing written documents and witness testimonies, language is a key factor in legal proceedings that nobody can deny. What is the role of linguistic experts and witness testimonies that we can discuss? To add to this, we can say that experts provide analysis on document authorship and witness testimonies. Their insights can challenge the credibility of testimonies based on linguistic challenge. Their insights can challenge the credibility of testimonies based on linguistic evidence. Now, when we talk about cross-examinations and jury instructions, we can add this. Language in cross-examination and jury instructions is very critical. We'll explore how linguistic strategies in questioning and the clarity of jury instructions impact trial outcomes. Now, the next phase that we can discuss about is language and legal education. Language is central in legal education. It shapes how law students develop their understanding of legal reasoning and argumentation, how they learn the different aspects of communication, be it verbal communication, non-verbal communication or interpersonal communication. We will look into the role of legal vocabulary, analytical skills and the interpretation of law in legal education. This is something which is in the core of education so far as legal education is concerned. If the students from the law background or the law students aspiring any law degree has no idea how to summarize the text, how to convert a statement into an argument, that person cannot survive in that field. And that's why critical thinking is base for all this. Now, let's talk about critical thinking and language analysis. When I talk about legal education, I must tell you that legal education emphasizes critical thinking and language analysis. Students learn to dissect legal texts and understand judicial opinions, assessing how language influences outcomes. And that's why it helps in interpretation and application of law. Students are trained in statutory interpretation and application to real world scenarios. We'll have a discussion on how legal education prepares students for the practical application of law. Now, the very commonly discussed aspect of law is, with so far as linguistic and law is concerned, we can say that sociolinguistics and the law. This is something which has been discussed a lot. So, we can say that Sociolinguistics examines language in legal contexts, revealing how language reflects and shapes societal norms, where we can explore how dialects and cultural influences impact legal interpretation and witness testimonies. If you talk about oral communication, right, in that case there is one concept of language that comes in the picture, that is MTI, that calls mother tongue influence. With that MTI we can easily figure out the background of the person, right. Next we can move on to the next area where language, culture and legal interpretation, these three dimensions merge together, right, and by doing this we can find that understanding of cultural influences on language is a key in legal interpretation, especially in multicultural societies, where we can discuss about the challenges and importance of cultural competence in legal practice. Moving further, we can talk about ethics in legal language. Ethics in legal language underpins the moral principles and justice and communication. We can discuss and explore further about the responsibility of legal professionals in using language ethically, from avoiding misinterpretations to promoting transparency. Transparency and ethical challenges in legal interpretation. To add details to this, we can say that the ethical use of language evolves, avoiding ambiguity and bias. Here we can draw the attention towards the challenges in interpreting ambiguous legal language and the role of ethics in legal drafting. When we talk about the future of legal language, we can have lots of things to discuss. The plate that we have is bigger, brighter, right. We can talk about emerging technologies, we can talk about AI, we can talk about digital communication, we can talk about globalization. There are many things to discuss about. If we talk about technology, how it is there as a pivot, where the things are moving around. There are also challenges when it comes to technology like AI, right. We need to maintain legal integrity, that is an evolving landscape. Now if we talk about the impact of globalization and technology on legal language, we can say that global interactions and digital communication are transforming legal language, and that too 180 degree. We'll explore how these changes offer both challenges, at the same time opportunities for legal practice. That's why we could find that there is a plain language movement and legal education. The push for plain language and the adaptation of legal curricula to these changes are crucial. We can figure out how legal education is evolving to prepare future lawyers for these transformations. To conclude with, we can say that the landscape of legal language is continuously evolving, influenced by societal changes, technological advancements, and the push for greater clarity. As we adapt to these changes, the role of language in law remains as pivotal as ever, ensuring justice and clarity in the legal processes worldwide. I hope that you enjoyed this video. You can find more details in the e-content section. Fine. Thank you very much. Catch you soon again in the next video. Thank you very much.